The MB track tractor is turning to go downhill. To align the rear trailer in the correct direction, the operator walks behind the tractor and manipulates the rear-mounted log hook to raise and rotate the trailer into the correct position. Once the trailer is properly aligned, the log hook is retracted. The operator then drives forward slightly and begins to go downhill. Thanks to the four-wheel drive and powerful steering, the MB track handles the slope smoothly, ensuring that the entire tractor-trailer assembly moves downhill safely and in the desired direction. The transportation process begins with the careful loading of large modular units onto specialized Goldhofer trailers. These heavy and oversized components, manufactured by EKMESA, are positioned using cranes and lifting equipment to ensure precise placement and balance on the multi-axle trailers. Once secured, the trailers are checked for alignment, stability, and all necessary safety measures before departure. The transport is scheduled on weekends to minimize traffic and ensure smoother movement through Thessaloniki. The convoy, consisting of multiple escort vehicles and heavy-duty trucks, departs from the industrial zone and proceeds at a controlled speed. Escort vehicles move ahead to manage traffic, temporarily block intersections, and guide the transport through narrow roads and sharp turns. In areas with limited clearance, team members on foot assist in navigating under power lines, bridges, and tight passages. As the convoy travels through city streets, the drivers utilize hydraulic steering systems for precise maneuvering. Communication between the driver, escort teams, and support personnel is constant, ensuring full coordination at all times. In some sections, the trailers adjust height and axle positions to overcome obstacles such as road inclines, curbs, or uneven surfaces. The entire operation reflects meticulous planning, including route surveys, permit acquisition, and coordination with local authorities. Each movement is executed slowly and carefully to protect the integrity of the cargo and ensure road safety. The process continues until the modular units reach the designated staging area near the port, completing the land transport phase efficiently and securely under the management of Colossal Special Transport. The process of transporting a machinery part begins at Deaconport, where a heavy-duty Mercedes-Benz Arox truck from Svestka loads the oversized component. A crane assists in carefully lifting and placing the covered machinery part onto the truck's trailer. The truck, specially equipped for oversized loads, is supported by escort vehicles to ensure safety and alert other drivers. The convoy navigates through urban areas and bridges, with the large load securely transported, guided by the escort cars to manage the width and maintain a safe passage throughout the journey. The transport began in the city center, where the 650-ton propylene storage capsule was moved by a specialized multi-axle trailer. Measuring 70 meters long, 14 meters high, and 9 meters wide, the payload required careful planning and precise handling. As the convoy set off, escort vehicles followed to manage traffic and ensure public safety. Guidance and control teams provided support and worked around the clock to navigate the transport. The convoy moved slowly through city streets, with observers guiding the trailer through tight corners and complex curves. Overhead cables and signs were raised or avoided to accommodate the extreme heights. The trailer's hydraulic suspension system adjusted in real time to keep the payload stable. The team navigated elevation changes and narrow passageways with constant communication. Streetlights and barriers were removed as needed. The entire operation proceeded carefully and methodically through the city, maintaining balance, distance, and synchronization at every stage. The transport of a special aircraft part for the Slovak government, an Airbus A380 fuselage, began with meticulous preparation at night. The 50-meter-long fuselage was carefully positioned using cranes and lifting equipment to ensure precise alignment and balance on multi-axle trailers. After securing the cargo, the trailers underwent thorough alignment, stability, and safety checks before departure. The convoy, accompanied by a support vehicle and an escort team, moved slowly to navigate the route efficiently. The journey included a critical section under a low bridge, requiring precise calculations of height and width to avoid damage. The support vehicles and a guide team worked closely together, guiding the convoy through narrow roads, curves, and residential areas. The operation was conducted at night to minimize traffic disruption, demonstrating the team's expertise and coordination. By dawn, the fuselage had been successfully delivered to its destination at meticulous, marking the completion of this challenging transport mission. This remarkable feat highlighted the team's ability to overcome complex logistical challenges, thanks to months of careful planning and the expertise of the experienced crew. The completion of this transport mission marked a significant achievement in the assembly process of the aircraft, bringing it one step closer to its final construction. The oversized convoy, accompanied by a pilot vehicle, carefully navigates through a narrow residential street in Agny-le-Duc, France. The transported cargo is completely wrapped in a green tarpaulin, suggesting it is a large industrial component or machinery. Due to the tight street layout and minimal clearance, the operation requires precise maneuvering at every turn. The transport vehicle proceeds slowly, with only inches of clearance between the cargo and nearby houses, fences, and poles. At one particularly narrow section, the driver halts and begins reversing. A complex series of back-and-forth adjustments is needed to align the trailer for an upcoming sharp turn. Crew members on the ground constantly monitor the spacing and provide hand signals and voice commands to guide the driver. To help the vehicle steer properly around the tight corner, the rear axles of the trailer are actively steered. This synchronized axle control enables the trailer to follow the truck's path without colliding with buildings or street furniture. Despite this, the turn is so tight that the team must stop multiple times to reassess and re-steer. The green-covered cargo swings inches from walls as the trailer edges around the corner. Local residents observe from nearby windows and sidewalks while the convoy passes with extreme caution. At one moment, the trailer narrowly misses a gutter pipe by mere centimeters. Once the vehicle completes the corner, it straightens out slowly and resumes forward motion along the narrow street. The process continues with similar care as the convoy inches forward, maintaining control over the trailer's rear steering and lateral clearances. The pilot vehicle remains ahead, ensuring the road is clear and alerting traffic. The entire maneuver demonstrates high levels of coordination and driving skill essential for navigating heavy, oversized loads through dense residential environments. The transport of a distillation column from Eschweiler to Ludwigshafen was a complex and meticulously executed heavy lift project. The distillation column measured an impressive 90.50 meters long, 4.50 meters wide, 5.70 meters high, and weighed a total of 300 tons. The process began in Eschweiler, where the column was securely mounted on a specialist multi-axle trailer designed to carry oversized and overloaded industrial equipment. A heavy-duty truck was used to pull the trailer. The convoy, which was over 90 meters long, moved slowly and cautiously through urban streets, requiring temporary road closures, traffic lights, and police escorts. Navigating tight corners, narrow streets, and intersections at night required precise coordination. At some locations, support vehicles had to manually manipulate road signs and street furniture to ensure safety. The trailer's hydraulic suspension system helps raise or lower the load to avoid overhead obstacles such as traffic signals and power lines. After the road section, the convoy arrives at the riverside loading area. Here, two large cranes, a mobile all-terrain crane and a crawler crane, are deployed to lift the distillation column. The lifting is done with extreme care and coordination. Cables and tie-downs are attached to ensure a balanced lift. The column is carefully pulled from the trailer, suspended in the air, and then gently lowered onto the waiting barge. The barge has been prepared in advance with strong supports and lashings to accommodate the massive structure. Once the column is securely secured on the barge, it continues its journey up the river towards Ludwigshafen. This marks the successful completion of the challenging land transport phase and the beginning of the sea leg of the operation. The exceptional transport of 38.5-meter-long bridge pillars carried out by Lasso France involves a meticulously orchestrated operation using transverse trailers specifically engineered to handle heavy and oversized loads. This process demands strict adherence to regulations, safety protocols, and precision coordination between multiple support teams and specialized equipment. The operation begins with the precise positioning and loading of the massive concrete pillars onto transverse trailers. These trailers are designed with multiple axles to distribute the immense weight evenly, thus ensuring structural stability throughout the journey. The orientation of the trailers arranged side by side beneath the load enables the support of long, indivisible elements like bridge pillars that exceed conventional trailer length. Hydraulic support systems integrated into the trailers allow for height adjustments, critical for maintaining balance on uneven terrain or during turning maneuvers. Once loaded, the convoy prepares to depart. It comprises prime mover trucks, escort vehicles, and pilot motorcycles, all tasked with ensuring safe passage along the planned route. The bridge pillars, extending laterally across the convoy's full width, demand that the operation take place during low-traffic hours and under clear coordination. At this stage, route authorization documents and special permits come into effect as required under French transport regulations for oversized cargo. The convoy travels along rural roads bordered by fields and trees, where the challenges of narrow widths and variable elevations are pronounced. At every curve or incline, the hydraulic systems actively adjust the trailers to stabilize the load, minimizing lateral sway and preventing any shift in the pillar's position. In certain areas, mobile platforms or steel mats are used beneath the wheels to protect fragile infrastructure and ensure load-bearing distribution across the surface. As the convoy advances, it encounters tight bends and intersections, which require careful coordination between the truck drivers and escort team. Escort vehicles equipped with flashing lights and signaling systems drive ahead and behind, alerting road users and temporarily halting oncoming traffic to allow safe passage. These vehicles also coordinate with local authorities to manage road closures or temporary diversions when needed. One of the more complex parts of the journey is navigating urban zones and residential areas. Here, the convoy moves at extremely reduced speeds to safely negotiate sharp corners, pedestrian crossings, and roundabouts. Traffic signs, lamp posts, and parked vehicles often leave little room for maneuvering. At these points, pilot personnel on foot guide the drivers by radio, relaying real-time information about clearance levels and potential obstructions. The pivoting capacity of the transverse trailers is essential during such maneuvers. With articulation points allowing horizontal rotation, the trailers can adapt to the curvature of roads without compromising the alignment of the pillar. These movements are executed slowly, often requiring several attempts to realign or reposition. In some segments, the convoy must drive partly onto sidewalks or cross into opposite lanes, demanding absolute control and coordination from the escort team. Throughout the journey, safety remains paramount. The bridge pillars are tightly secured using industrial-grade straps and chains, anchored to reinforced points on the trailer beds. Reflective markings, high-visibility flags, and auxiliary lights are affixed to both ends of the pillar to warn other road users of the exceptional width and length of the load. In areas with limited lighting, additional portable spotlights are used to illuminate the convoy. When faced with low bridges or overhead power lines, the team halts the convoy to evaluate vertical clearances. If the height of the load presents a risk, hydraulic lowering systems bring the platform closer to the ground. In some cases, bypass routes are employed, or temporary infrastructure modifications are coordinated in advance with relevant authorities. Mobile teams follow the convoy, ready to intervene for temporary signage removal or traffic signal adjustment. In bridge crossing segments, the transport team applies specific protocols. Bridge engineers often provide structural analysis to confirm load capacity, and mobile steel bridging plates are deployed to spread axle loads across a broader surface, thus preventing localized stress on the bridge deck. Stability calculations are rechecked before crossing begins, and speed is minimized to reduce dynamic loads. The convoy proceeds in a synchronized fashion, sometimes even pausing mid-crossing to inspect for any abnormal shifts or load behavior. As the transport continues toward less populated zones, the convoy accelerates slightly, though always maintaining a controlled pace to ensure safety. Communication between drivers, pilot cars, and escort staff remains continuous, facilitated by two-way radios and pre-agreed hand signals. If any unexpected obstacle arises, such as a stalled vehicle, an unscheduled roadwork, or inclement weather, the team halts and reassesses, often performing on-site route adjustments. At multiple points during the journey, brief technical stops are scheduled. These allow the crew to inspect strap tensions, trailer tires, and hydraulic systems. Minor recalibrations are carried out if necessary. During longer halts, personnel take the opportunity to review upcoming terrain and verify local traffic conditions to ensure a smooth continuation. The final approach to the destination involves transitioning back onto rural roads. Here, the convoy navigates softer road shoulders, slight inclines, and sharper turns. Despite nearing the end of the journey, caution does not waver. The trailers make their final adjustments to ensure the pillar remains precisely aligned. Escort vehicles continue to clear the path, ensuring no parked cars or roadside obstructions compromise the movement. Upon arrival at the delivery site, typically a construction staging area or bridge building platform, the convoy positions the trailers in alignment with lifting cranes or gantry systems that will offload the pillar. However, as per the focus of the video, the offloading is not shown. The operation concludes with the convoy slowing to a stop, final systems checks being carried out, and the team preparing for the next steps in the delivery process. In summary, the transport of 38.5-meter bridge pillars on transverse trailers by Locomotive, France, represents a logistical feat of engineering and planning. From hydraulic adjustments and pivoting trailers to synchronized convoy movements and adherence to strict safety standards, every step is orchestrated to ensure the safe and timely delivery of an oversized and critical infrastructure component. The process of loading the malfunctioning BB63000 locomotive onto a transport vehicle begins with the locomotive positioned on a set of tracks adjacent to the loading area. Workers, wearing high-visibility safety gear, prepare the site, ensuring the red flatbed trailer is aligned with the tracks. The locomotive is carefully maneuvered onto the trailer using a specialized rail transfer system, which includes a movable ramp. As the locomotive moves forward, its wheels transition smoothly from the tracks to the trailer's surface, guided by the ramp's alignment. Workers monitor the process closely, making adjustments to ensure stability. Chains and securing equipment are then attached to the locomotive's frame to fasten it securely to the trailer. The locomotive's front end is positioned centrally on the trailer, with the rear still partially on the tracks during the initial phase. Once fully loaded, the trailer is prepared for transport, with workers finalizing the securing process. The operation is conducted efficiently in an industrial setting, with the locomotive lifted slightly to clear the tracks before being fully settled onto the trailer. In February 2008, an exceptional transport operation was carried out to move heavy equipment from Valenciennes, Germany, to a combined cycle power plant in France. The cargo included a 310-ton gas turbine, a 341-ton generator, a 250-ton transformer, and a 198-ton steam turbine. The journey began with the loading of the components onto specialized self-propelled modular transporters, capable of supporting extreme weights. Each item was securely fastened and meticulously balanced to ensure stability during the trip. The convoy advanced slowly through urban and rural areas, often at walking speed, with the assistance of escort vehicles and support crews to guide the load safely. Challenging turns and narrow roads required careful maneuvering, while temporary removal of road signs and barriers enabled smooth passage. In certain sections, steel plates were laid down to protect infrastructure and distribute weight evenly. Bridges were crossed under strict monitoring, sometimes reinforced beforehand. At key moments, hydraulic systems on the transporters adjusted the height of the cargo to clear obstacles. Upon arrival at the power plant site, heavy lift cranes and jacking systems were employed to unload and position the components with precision, marking the successful completion of this large-scale heavy transport operation.